Welcome to the bridge. How are you? What's up, everybody? How's it going?
How y'all doing? Y'all sexy?
Oh, yeah, y'all real sexy. Y'all looking real good out there. What you wear? Oh, that's nice and that feels good on you. I like the way that looks on you. Yeah. Listener. Damn, listener, you be looking good today. You be looking like a snack. You be looking like a whole ass meal. You be looking like a whole sea ration, like a whole day ration.
You be looking like that.
Multiple meals.
That giant buffet of McDonald's food that Trump had.
Girl, you be looking like a Donald Trump McDonald buffet.
Girl, you looking like a fast food buffet.
Yeah. For sure. That's what you say when you roll up in the club. Roll up on a girl. Yeah. Girl, you looking like a Burger King buffet. I want to have it my way. And she's like, "What? I got the meat." Isn't that Arby's? Fuck.
Yeah, that's Arby's.
That's fuck. Yeah. I'm welcome to Soy Trek. Welcome to the bridge. This is a podcast about Star Trek and stuff. I'm Comrade Britt.
And I am Pat.
And we're here today to talk about some Star Trek Discovery. It's one of the last episodes we'll ever see. There's 2 more episodes left in the entire series.
Yeah. That's wild.
But we'll get into that after we talk about our Patreon. Hey, did you know we have a Patreon at patreon.com/dumbidiotbs? I bet you did.
Yeah.
Listener.
I
bet you did.
Oh, yeah, listener.
No, I bet we're talking about the sexy listeners still.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, listener, I bet you know about it, and I bet a lot of you are subscribed to it. But if you aren't, you should be. You know who is? Good people just like Dylan Lance, Jordan Hale, Elizabeth Hearn, Nick Savard, Shane Sawyer, David Craning Seitz, Electric Baphomet, Gursky, Jormore, Kyle Simmons, Gillian McCrary, SFC Punk, 7 of 9, D. Riker, Ethan Adams, James Hartman, Iggy, Abigail Simpson, Shane Williams, Sam Mayo, Seb, Robert Yolito, Asher Pliskin, Skeptic, Papa Poison, Awful Star Trek Drawings, Jose Martinez, Nova, Gabe Siciliano, Big Strong Boy, Vinny, Luna Dahlia, Former Twink, Nathan G, DJ Robinson, Phil McCavity, Danny, Locke Finial, and our good friends over at Hate Speech Podcast, the Bruce Campbell Podcast, and Anamorphin Time.
Wow.
Yeah, lots of folks supporting us. Thanks, folks.
Lots of the new names.
A few new names. Yeah. We got a couple people on the merch tier sending out merch. Still figuring out some of their sizes and stuff because they haven't responded back to me on email yet or on Patreon
that means
message.
They get extra small.
Yeah, exactly. Extra small. You get the child sizes now. Either that or 4XL. Actually, everyone loves a 4XL shirt. No matter what size you are, you can use it for something. If you're a 4XL size person, then it's just a regular shirt for you. But if you're kind of twinky or something, then it's like a giant nightshirt that you can wear, and that's really fun too.
You could jump off the top of a building and it'll gently let you fall to the ground unharmed.
I've seen this on cartoons. Yeah, you can use it as like a parachute type thing.
Cartoon logic, so that means it's real.
Absolutely, cartoons are real, people. Like, that's what I say. That's what I wish for myself, is I nakedly watch Family Guy every evening.
That's the Soy Trek promise. Cartoons are real.
Yeah,
because I'm abusing myself to Family Guy.
Yeah. Do it, Brian. Do it, Brian. Brian, do it. Do it. Kill the Peter man. Do it.
I mean, cartoons made you feel a real feeling. So
yeah,
who's to say they're not real or not?
Right. If something makes you feel, it's real.
If it makes you feel, it's real.
That's how it works. Anyway, let's So you go to our Patreon, patreon.com/dumbidiotbs. Check it out. There's a bunch of tiers. You can get a bunch of stuff, including, hard to find Soy Trek merch. I don't know if y'all were part of the whole soytrek.com movement, but that came and went after Paramount decided to fuck us royally with some legal fuckery. And, we're small. We can't really afford lawyers to fight back, but they got a whole house of lawyers to fuck with us.
At least it was Paramount. Like, if it was Disney, we'd probably be in a black site. We'd probably be
we'd be in a red
oil
room.
Drum.
We'd be in a red room right now on the fucking dark web, and they would be like taking pieces of us, and just like people would be paying them in Bitcoin to watch them take pieces of us.
We would have no idea how much time has passed because we've just spent it completely with like our eyes and ears completely muffled, and so we think like years have passed, but it's only been like a few weeks or something. Right.
Yeah, they've just been showing us MCU movies on repeat and just destroying our minds, just completely rotting them out. Yeah.
And then we'd just end up in an oil drum on the bottom of the ocean.
With all the rest of the mouse's enemies. It's the Disney graveyard! So... You're gonna sleep with the fishes.
This ticket's free, motherfucker.
So we're talking about some Star Trek Discovery today, right? Star Trek Discovery, Season 5, Episode 8, Labyrinths. Just aired 16th of May, 2024, a few days ago. This is the 63rd episode of Discovery and the 916th episode of Star Trek overall.
Wow.
Yeah, this one's written by Lauren Wilkinson, who is an executive story editor for this season, who also wrote the third episode of this season, Janal, and they're also a novelist. And then the co-writer, Eric J. Robbins, is a staff writer this season who wrote Season 4's All Is Possible. Prior to this, they were a film editor. So this episode is directed by Emmanuel Osei Kofour, who's an up-and-coming television director who's also done episodes of Midnight Club, The Recruit, and Shogun. They also wrote and directed...
Oh, nice. You did Shogun.
Yeah, they also wrote and directed the film Black Box from 2020, which is supposed to be all right. So, on the brink... You want to jump in? Do we want to jump in? Do you have anything to say before we get into this? All right.
Let's just jump into it.
And let's jump right in. On the Breen ship, Locke is mourned, and Primarch Rune promises to avenge his death by uniting the Breen against the Federation. Maul promises, with the progenitor technology, she can bring Locke back from the dead. Rune agrees to let her try and freeze her. He's putting a lot of trust in her, and I'm not sure if it really fits what we've seen of the character so far, but all right.
And really of what we've seen of the Breen in general.
Right.
Because he's also like, he accommodates everyone. Like, that's one thing I liked about the Breen and, in Deep Space Nine and stuff. They made themselves known as to be very unaccommodating.
Yeah, ruthless.
Around anyone else.
Ruthless, yeah.
Yeah, like they refused to. They liked having that their speech couldn't be translated into the universal translator, and they're extremely secretive, and I kind of appreciate that about them. And then at one point during Locke's memorial service, he's just like, "And now I will address everyone in standard."
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Like he's doing it for the benefit of one person there,
one human. Right.
Yeah.
Like we have fucking subtitles.
Or is she considered to be one of Book's people?
I don't think she's from that planet that blew up. Yeah, Jumanji is where he's from. He's from Jumanji. So for some reason, Maul is like really sassy with Rune, even though he could just like kill her if he wanted. Like, apparently, I don't know the whole rules with like the wife of the Scion thing, but I don't think she has like a claim to any power or anything. So I don't think she has a real claim to any like security.
No, especially in a culture like as xenophobic and as the Breen, who seem to they've gone out of their way to make sure no information of them actually like has ever, like, they're more secretive than the Romulans.
Yeah, definitely.
Like people people know more about the Romulans than they do know about the Breen. And I think that, well, obviously Romulans interact more with, other species than the Breen. The Breen are like purposely cut themselves off.
Right.
And here they seem to make a lot of concessions immediately with like the most minimal pushback. They're just like, well, okay, I'll talk in English. I'll accept this extreme outsider into our culture. And also he's giving her so much trust right off the bat, where it's just like, I feel that was one thing that one of their strengths is that they do not trust anyone that's not Breen.
Right.
and so yeah, like there's lots of rapid changes happening to the Breen culture, like immediately, just like,
right.
And it would have helped if we, I don't know, maybe had some build up, because like it's interesting that, like, yeah, you said one of the writers was worked on Shogun, because that almost has like,
no, the director did.
I don't want to
the director
the
writers didn't. Yeah,
because I don't want to say that's like that relatable, but it's like, because like the Japanese did trade very openly. They had like Spanish people from Spain living there and stuff, and they interacted with their trading and stuff. But they take like someone who's completely outside of their culture and introduce them to it. Like Blackthorn, and it's almost kind of very similar. But like when he's up against it, like he's trying to change the Japanese, but he ends up changing himself. He changes for the better, and
right.
I don't know. It just seems like you go against like a culture, as Japanese culture is very old, and they take a lot of pride in their culture, and so of course they're not going to bend to this other guy's will immediatly. Like they just like.
I mean, in an episode of Shogun, this was not,
and make him part of that.
Yeah, this was not like. Not quite as adept television is an episode of Shogun. I will say.
Yeah, because you think like going against someone like the Breen, who are very adamant. They have their own rules and regulations. They're very strict about them, and they're very strict about secrecy and keeping like the bulk of their culture secret from the people, from the rest of the galaxy. And here someone comes in and immediately starts rearranging the furniture with. So I'm just like, it's kind of interesting, but I don't know. Like, doesn't that believable, especially like as I think I mentioned last episode. Like, I don't believe Maul's charismatic enough to even kind of pull this kind of stunt off.
No, I don't either. Like, Maul is fine, but she's just kind of like a sassy little white girl, and I don't know. I just don't really buy it. She
not.
Just
pouts.
Sorry.
She just pouts the entire time. And scowls at people, and that somehow elicits like the most amount of trust in her, and she's able to convince people of a lot of different things. Like she was able to, I mean, Locke was already a pretty depressed person who was like open to changing.
Sure.
So I can believe that. I don't necessarily, but she seems to like, skipping ahead a little, she does seem to rally a bunch of Breen she doesn't even know.
Yeah.
Which seems absurd.
Yeah, it seems
and
like
also it's like Locke wasn't even a popular Breen to begin with.
No, although he does have like, you know, a royal lineage. So even though he wasn't popular,
he had a
was
royal
like
lineage,
important.
but like when it showed like the flashbacks to how he was before, he seemed to even get like shit from like other Breen, because he was like
mostly
demoted basically to a low-level functionary inside, and like a guy that worked at like their port.
Right.
you know, he's like a low-level made man almost, and who doesn't actually have any sort of respect or anything, and actually gets like pushed around by, even though he has some sort of royal lineage, there's still people who are like just like regular people who outrank him and still push him around. So that's why it was so easy to like make him defect. But like he didn't seem to be a Breen that was respected at all in Breen culture.
No,
like he was just he was a fail son because of his royal lineage.
He was a fail son. He was the Hunter Biden.
He was a total fail son.
He was a Hunter Biden of the fucking start of the Breen universe.
Well, actually, he wasn't even a fail son. He was a fail nephew. That's even worse.
Well, no. He was a failed nephew of that guy, but he has an actual lineage to the Emperor, though, which is kind of what I'm talking about. Like, he's the only one, apparently. He's the scion because he's the only living person with, like, a legitimate lineage to the dead Emperor. So, you know. But,
so he's like, he's basically like the cloned, not Core. What was the name of the Klingon? The Klingon god.
Yeah. From the first season. I don't remember.
Just like, it was just like, he doesn't.
Was it Loak?
Was not respected. No, like the cloned Klingon from Deep Space Nine. He was like the original. He was like, it escapes me right now.
Nah, I don't know. So anyway. Yeah, let's keep going here. So Discovery Discovery warps to the Badlands, the largest plasma storm in the quadrant. They get a reading that's the same alloy as the library card attached to the clue. Suddenly they're hailed by a curator at the Eternal Gallery and Archive, who gives them a speech about the archive while they struggle to travel and have to cut the engines and travel on their momentum as their shields drain. Suddenly they arrive unscathed and gaze upon the Eternal Gallery and Archive, which is like a floating castle and looks very fucking Disney. It looks like a big floating Disney castle. It's kind of weird. So this it
doesn't even look. I mean, I know it's space, so you don't actually have to have like an actual real functional design, really.
Right. But it does look like a castle, like they just ripped it out of somewhere. But they say that this is like it moves every 50 years or whatever. And so, maybe it was originally on a planet and they just had to like rip it out of the planet and put it somewhere else in a shield, So it could have been terrestrial. It could have been functionary on a terrestrial plane at some point. I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Opening credits here at 9:45. For having as much time as they need, like every open on the season has had like exactly 10 minutes or just a bit longer, and I wonder if it's like a mandate or something now. Like, hey, we gotta get the 10 minutes for the cold open. It's kind of weird.
It could be, yeah. I mean, it does seem like they have a lot of ground they need to cover, because it's wild that there's only literally like 2 more episodes of this entire series.
I know, right? It feels so like not prepared to end at all.
It doesn't, and we don't even have like Detmer or Awusa.
Yeah, we have Reese on this episode, which is nice because we never see him.
Yeah, we have Reese, then people like Tilly and all of them are like they're all kind of like pushed to the side. Yeah, we don't even. It doesn't feel like it's going to end. Is like, something like iconic, like, the end of TNG or something, which is like an ending so good they had to do it twice.
Right.
Or something like Deep Space Nine, which was incredible. This massive cap to like so many different storylines, and I think it'll probably be better than the Enterprise ending. But
maybe. I mean, there's no telling, but like everything is better than the Enterprise ending, pretty much. So
yeah, basically. But it's just kind of interesting because there's still so much I guess they have to do, and I think they kind of probably try to, do the book burn thing again. But it's just like, it's just like, is that what this is all leading up to? Everything, this entire
I think it might
series?
be. I honestly think it might just be leading up to like Burnham and Book reconciliation, like romance. Like that's gonna be like the main point of the entire series. Is it's like it's all about love, and if that's the case, I'm just gonna put a phaser in my mouth, man.
It's also because and then again, like, still, like, this is also the 8th episode of this season, and again, no demonstration of what the progenitor's power can do, I feel like that's been so lost in this season because they have to focus so much on the completely uncharismatic Maul and Locke couple,
right?
And then, like, I feel like they haven't fully established the stakes of what they're even trying to do. It's just like, we gotta stop these two people, and that's the entire point of this. It's like it would be nice if we had a little taste of what the progenitor's power can do, just something to raise the stakes a little.
Well, we kind of did, I guess, because in the time jump episode, we had the flash forward to where we saw what happened when the Breen got the technology and they destroyed Starfleet headquarters. So there's that.
But I also feel that probably wasn't enough. Like,
no.
Like, I don't know, because like also it'd be also, but okay, yes, we know it can destroy, but also it's just like, they talk about all these different things it can do, but they're not showing us any of that.
Yeah, because like Maul is like super certain that she can bring back Locke with it, but it's like, it's well known that the progenitor technology, the way it creates life is it like creates new life forms, humanoid life forms. It doesn't bring back dead people so far as anybody knows, but she's just assuming that, like, and she's smart, right? Or she's supposed to be smart, but she's making some wild assumptions here.
That's also why I don't understand why, like, she thought like siding with the Breen was the best course of action. It's like, you're literally on the ship with the almost completed artifact. Why wouldn't you side with the people who have consistently foiled your plans? Because then also, if you look at, because also like they didn't do anything like make it raise the stakes, like let Maul and Locke at least get like one piece or two. That would make sense if they did, but like, then that would raise the stakes that way, because it's like, well, geez, like, we got to get these back because like they're in the hands of the bad guys, and there was zero of that. Like they've actually failed at every single episode, like, and the Federation just keeps falling into the pieces.
Yeah, the Federation is pretty inept in this. I'm surprised. I'm kind of sad they don't have more of like Kovich dressing them down and being like, you fucking idiots. I think we need more of David Cronenberg coming on here and breaking the fourth wall and being like, you fucking dumbasses.
I noticed like he's also like disappeared, like Saru's disappeared.
What's happened to all of our old twinks? What's happened to all of our old twinks? They took all the old twinks off the show.
They're retiring the twinks.
Well, you're trying to put Raynor in as an old twink? I don't buy that at all.
And also this is the episode I actually realized I forgot that they totally just like made Detmer and the other girl go off and do something else. Just,
did they?
Just shows how, like they were tasked with driving the Terran Enterprise back home.
Oh, right. I didn't know they were still doing that. That sucks, man. So they just
I know,
wrote
it's just
them.
like, why would you do that to two characters that have been with this
Apparently there was a lot of scheduling conflicts and stuff like that, but like, I don't know, scheduling conflicts I think means that they were just like, I don't know, I can still get the same paycheck and just go do other stuff that isn't like just showing up on set for fucking all day and getting 0 lines the entire season.
Just smiling really weird to every single thing.
Yeah, just like
just
bringing them in for just the reaction shots is like no way to treat any serious actor. Like, these are people 5 years into a season of a show, and none of them have gotten their own episode or a story arc of any kind, really.
Yeah, I think Detmer had something, and Owu.
Yeah.
She had, like, we found out she boxes really well, and Detmer had a thing about her implant, but it's just like, out of 5 fucking seasons, that's all they get.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that they're so underdeveloped, I didn't even fucking realize they were gone.
Right.
It's just like, because they're so inconsequential as characters, and it's just like, why even be there? And because I mean, spoiler, it's another book burn away team, and it's just like, I was like, come on, when they revealed that, I was like, give me a break. It's like they look for any reason to
so let's
wedge that in.
Let's get more into it here. So Discovery flies to the archive, and there's still a lot of radiation, so they won't be able to cloak their ship. The curator contacts them and tells them there's a Quajon aboard the Discovery, that's Book, and requests that they bring the Quajon to comment on one of the only remaining artifacts from their world. Like, the world blew up. It's weird that, like, I mean, there weren't more people traveling with Quajon artifacts, like Quajon's traveling, like, that had stuff from their world. Like, that's the only thing they got still. Anyway.
Yeah, even when Romulus blew up, there was still, like, Romulans who were out in space.
Right, exactly. So Burnham tells Book the archive has something from Quajon, so it's another book burn episode. Neat, cool, awesome, super duper.
I know. I thought that was. I thought, like,
I think I audibly groaned when that happened.
I know. It's just like any, like, it's just like, just make them the away team, like, and like coming up with these like coincidences on why he needs to be going on the away missions. It just at this point seems absurd. Like, even through random chance,
right?
It seems like it would be impossible.
Just make it a rule at this point. Make like Burnham like convene a meeting and be like, from now on, Booker is the only person who comes with me on away teams. And everyone's like, why? And she's like, that's my final decision, and just walks away.
I think she basically has already done that. So it's just like, just make it official, It's just like, instead of like, being like, we just so happen to have something for this other character that goes on all your away missions with you. And just, and you act surprised. It's like, bro, you're the only one who fucking leaves the ship besides her. It's like, at this point, like,
everyone there is trapped. Yeah.
I'd just be like, anytime they come to a planet, he should just start like putting his shoes on,
Yeah. So Burnham tells Book that the archive has something. Oh, we already got that. So Burnham and Book have a talk, and Michael says that she cares about him and he's important to her, but she like dismisses that he's trying to talk about like them. So then they just go to the archive. In the archive, they ask about the Breen, and the archive isn't afraid of the Breen since they're on good terms with everybody so long as they follow the rules. And if they don't, they go to the dungeon. The curator...
I think it's also funny, they're like, oh yeah, the Breen actually contribute a lot to this. I'm like, what? Like, so it's just like, so the Breen have just been like submitting stuff from their culture this entire time that's information that's freely available, and they've just been like putting all their shit up on WikiLeaks basically, and just being like, here it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's more like putting it up on like DeviantArt or what is this?
I mean,
Yeah, this place is the real. I don't know what's a good website. Poshmark
it's like
or something.
Pinterest.
Pinterest. There you go. There's a Pinterest. Yeah.
Like the curator gave a lot of Pinterest vibes to her.
Yeah, this is the universal Pinterest.
Yeah.
I guess kind of like Internet Archive, but like Internet Archive's actually got cool shit. So
yeah.
So in the archive, they ask about the brain. We already got that. So the curator brings them to a book, The Labyrinth of the Mind. They're the first to come and find it. According to the records, it was left by a Bethesda doctor named Dr. Derex, or as I like to call him, Dr. Durex, after the condom brand. The curator leaves Burnham to the book while she takes Book to his viewing room. Sorry if I said book too many times there.
I will say this whole set piece, though, I think the library looks really cool.
The library looks really cool. The book looks really cool. I mean, once again, the production of the show is really good, and the set pieces are all really good. Like the costuming's really good. Like everything is like looks good. That's it. Burnham looks at the book, and it seems to be captivating her. The curator takes Book to his artifact, and it's a box made out of Tullywood. Inside is a cutting from a root from his planet. The curator says it was given to them a long time ago, and recently it was put in a place of honor to ensure lost cultures are not forgotten. Book cries, and she offers to give him the root so long as he returns and tells a story about it. So, back with Burnham, she's passed out on the floor in a room, but she wakes up, and nobody's there. She's alone in the archive, but there's one other person there, who's Book in a pretty sick-looking robe.
And he's acting very cunty.
Very. He's serving. He's almost waitressing. He's serving so much.
It's also unclear. I mean, he's obviously like a personality designed for this. Because at first I thought he was just like, the Betazoid
Doctor. Dr. Durex.
And that was like they left like a component of their personality in there, and then like it just took Book's form. But then I was just like, oh wait, no, they just created like a cunty book,
cunty AI
for this.
Yeah, it's cunty AI. Yeah. Cunt GPT.
At least that actor, at least Book's actor, is having fun with the role.
Yeah.
Almost how Culber was having fun
with the Janal.
Culber was having fun with that too.
I mean, this episode has one of the same writers, so there's that.
That's interesting. Yeah, it almost has the same exact concept.
So Burnham realizes that this isn't real, and she's in her mind. Book tells her she's been mind transported to the most important place in her life. Book is a program that Dr. Durex created, manifesting as Book from Burnham's subconsciousness, and this is a test, of course. Back in reality, Culber is scanning Burnham, and she's stable. The curator doesn't know what's going on. Culber says a neural emitter is running on Burnham's brain, and he can't disconnect it. Safely, at least. Book wants to go in, but can't find a way how. Culber says this must be a test, and that's not good enough for Rayner, so he looks for solutions. Love Rayner, always looking for solutions. Very pragmatic guy, that Rayner. And it's xenophobic towards kind of Nazis. But so in Burnham's mind, Book tells her the clue is the objective, and she has to find it on her own. I don't know what that means. So she asks for help, but she's not allowed to give hints. Or he's not allowed to give hints. The book isn't allowed to give hints. They have old-style library card with the long drawers, the old-style library organization, and somehow Burnham seems to know exactly what this is and how to use it, but she doesn't.
And that somehow and this is something. This is in an alien library, so they also have designed the Dewey Decimal System or whatever.
Right, exactly. So Michael deduces that she needs to go to the history section. I don't know why. She just decides that's correct. Book tells her that if she fails this test, she dies in her own mind.
Yeah, you die in real life. You die here. You die in the mind library. You die in real life.
And like Freddy Krueger peeks out from behind a bookshelf. So
you forgot to return your library book, bitch. Late fees, bitch. Late fees are a bitch.
Yeah, man, I love Freddy Krueger. He's too much. So Book says it's not too late to leave, but Burnham won't give up as they head to the history section. So it's weird. He's like, if you fail, you die, but also you can leave anytime. I can take you out of here. I'm like, wait. What does failure mean then?
At no point is she like she tried to do the thing where it's just like you leave and then just come back and it starts from zero.
Right, exactly. Like, have you tried hitting reset? And she's like, oh shit.
Damn it.
So back in reality, the curator brings back some files on Dr. Durex, and suddenly the Breen are on their way requesting to see the artifact. With the Breen, they threaten to destroy the archive, but the curator denies their request and suspends all Breen privileges in the archive until further notice based on their actions. Rune orders them to fire on the archive. Maul says that they shouldn't do that and do things more covertly by invading Discovery and taking the clues. Rune didn't know about the clues and chokes Maul and tells her not to test his patience again. He seems to just be going with everything that she says.
That was so funny to me.
Oh.
Because it's like, what did he know? He is dedicating so much time and resources to something. He has no idea what he's even going for here.
Right. He's
he is just now learning about the artifacts, and that Discovery has them all.
Right.
It's just like
he didn't talk to Maul at all. He just like went on a fucking gut feeling that this fucking smuggler. This small-time smuggler definitely has like a power to get one of the greatest powers in all the universe. Sure.
Yeah, she has so many things working against her. Yeah, you're right. She's like a small-time smuggler who lies. She stole his nephew, and she hates him.
Yep.
And she's also a member of a race that's completely outside Breen culture. She's like completely antithetical to everything the Breen cherish and then like respect, like, and he's just like being like, well, I'm going to take this massive ship on the suggestion of this person who makes a living from lying and doing underhanded shit. It's like, it's I mean that's why like I can see the betrayal stemming from him just being a moron. Like people betraying him because he's so stupid,
right, and
making stupid choices,
and he's so easily manipulated. I could see like him, like his downfall being manipulated, like
being weak,
right.
being like so weak of mind that this human smuggler can like make him do the dumbest shit ever, but instead it's just like she's basically like, he's mean, and everyone's just like, you're right.
We'll get into that. So
we'll get into it.
In Burnham's mind, they're going through books but not finding anything, and the lights are getting dimmer in the library. She realizes she's doing it wrong. She tries to figure out why the library was the most important place to her and deduces because it's the mission, and the mission is always the most important thing to her. All right, whatever. Book pulls out the book Labyrinth of the Mind, the one she got from the archive, and she realizes that this is a maze and she has to find her way out back to the reading room where it all started. Book confirms that she's correct. She needs to figure out a way to mark her route, and he gives her a bucket of sand, and she immediately pours half of it all over the floor.
I also thought that was very funny because it's like she needs to use the sand.
Mm-hmm.
She's surrounded by books.
She's not only, she's surrounded by books that she could, there's that, and she also has a computer map that she's looking at the whole time while she's doing this. Guess what? That it has her route marked. Did she need to put down the sand for the computer to map it? Is that like digital sand? Like, I don't understand what she's doing. I don't understand.
That's also implying, that computer is also a product of her mind, because it's like she didn't bring the computer into her mind with her.
Right.
Like, but it's still functioning exactly the same. So it's just like, okay. Like, there's nothing that's interesting like that, because, like, you could easily say, like, the computer she travels with. That would be like,
point. Whoa, hold up. So she has her personal computer on her because she manifested it with her mind. Why doesn't she have her personal transporter on her? She could be just transporting to different points and find the room.
Everywhere,
Yeah. Right? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the computer is working exactly like a computer works. Mm-hmm. But also I was thinking, like, clearly, like, the computer is clearly just like all of the knowledge that she alone possesses, because it's in her own mind. She doesn't possess information that's outside of her own mind at this point, because it's all like contained. That's all the things that she knows, which would be a good, interesting thing if when she accesses the computer, it was limited to only what she knows. Right, and like nothing else.
It's weird that she went through all the history books and didn't realize that this is like all stuff that's in her own mind.
Yeah.
Right? Because if I started reading a bunch of history books and they were only like stuff I knew, I'd be like, oh shit, wait. Is this a library? Wrestling. Is this a library for idiots? Like,
every single book is like for dummies.
For dummies books for dummies. Oh shit. That's the one for me. So, in reality, the Brain have armed against the archive, and they've gone into red alert. Raynor calls up Discovery and tells them to conceal themselves. Reese, who we never really see, is at the helm, and he decides to go back into the plasma storm. And he does a great job on this
Reese
episode.
Reese does an amazing job.
He does. I was saying that. Yeah, he's great on this episode. Very captainly. He does like his best Anson Mount impression, and he's actually good at it.
I was actually about to say, like, wow, he would have made an amazing captain for this.
Yeah,
like, they're also, everyone's ranks are so over the place. Have you noticed that? He's a command.
I think like basically everyone who skipped forward into the future is like a commander now.
Yeah, I noticed that everyone's a commander, and I'm just like, how many commanders do they have?
I think like basically their entire bridge crew, that they jumped forward with into the future is like they're all basically commanders. Because I want to say like Tilly, I know Reese, I want to say Stamets probably, Tilly, maybe Detmer, like a bunch of fucking commanders there.
Yeah, I'm like, how many do they have? But I think he does an amazing job. Like, he should be given his. I mean, maybe that's one thing they can do at the end of this: give him his own command, because I think he definitely did a great job. Mm-hmm. That was actually one of my favorite parts of this entire episode.
Yeah, me too. Good job, that actor. In Burnham's mind, she's solving the maze as it darkens around her. She has like a computer map. The whole time, which she could have definitely used instead of sand. She makes it back to the room.
It gets everywhere.
And book is there. It does get everywhere. He asks...
That was so funny when she got the sand, though, because I was thinking, I immediately thought, like, why didn't she take a book off the shelf and line her path that way?
Right.
There's nothing but books there.
Right.
Instead, she's like crouched over, making this weird, weird sand trail.
Right. And the sand never ends. It's like this perpetual sand, which doesn't really make any sense. But I guess it's in her mind. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
It's in her mind. She can do whatever she wants.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fucking... You could fucking mark the library with a Sharpie or something. Why sand? I don't know. So Burnham asks why he's making it so hard, and he says that they didn't ask for her. He asks what makes her one of the good guys, why she can be trusted. There's a test she hadn't passed yet, and the lights are going out. She's running out of time. In reality, the Breen are tunneling through the archive shields. Raynor tells Discovery to figure out the tech and how to slow it down. Culber says he needs all the time he can get for Burnham to survive. In Burnham's mind, she wonders what the test could be. Then she realizes the archive is her own mind. That's why it's the most important place to her, because she's a narcissist.
It is funny, like, I don't know, like, the point, like, her character, you know, she was trained on Vulcan. Like, she was trained, you know, this, you know, to have, like, this, you know, very logical, you know, when Vulcans face like doom or like an impossible situation, they do so very stoically. Just like, and she was very just spiraling. Very dramatically.
That was 2 showrunners ago. Like that she was like a Vulcan. Like no one remembers that anymore. No one remembers that.
I don't think anyone does. Yeah,
especially post Spock.
Utilize any of those.
Spock. Last time we saw was second season. So like she is good at fighting like Vulcans are, I guess.
Yes.
She's always good at kicking ass. So Burnham realizes she picked Book to be her avatar in the situation because she wants to fix things with him but doesn't know how. She asks if he wants her to admit that the job is everything to her, and even uses the phrase psychobabble, which is very, 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 very bold for a program that is at least 15 to 20% psychobabble.
80% karate.
Yeah, when she's like, it might be psychobabble, but I was like, this whole thing is psychobabble. What are you doing? Are you trying to break the fourth wall, or just like, I don't know. So Book says some of these things are true, but not the answer, and some of the lights go out. Burnham starts yelling at herself about failure and tells Book to screw himself, and she'll find her own way out. On Discovery, Stamets, Reno, and Adira try to figure out how to slow down shield tunnelers, and they figure out an idea, and Reno has a story that gives them a viable option. Stamets calls Raynor with the solution. In the archive, Raynor and Book prepare to fight the Breen. Discovery closes the tunnel, but some Breen manage to get through. On the Breen dreadnought, the tunnel is closed, and they're losing troops. Maul says, again, that Discovery is there. They look at the body cams from the soldiers in the archive, and somehow they're all turned on? You'd figure the Breen police would be the fucking worst about that, right?
I thought it was. I did like the first-person shooter type perspective we had of them all getting owned by Book and Raynor.
That was actually a pretty fun little thing. So, yeah. But I don't buy that they would have had their body cams on. So they show Book and Raynor kicking ass, and Maul says she wants to go down and beat them herself. Ronan has all the forces redirected to that sector to fight Book and Raynor. Maul tries to reason with Rune's number 1. So in the archive, Book has been shot, and he says it's not bad, but Culber can't treat it there and says they need to get back to Discovery. Raynor gives Burnham 5 more minutes to get out of her mind archive. So in her mind archive, oh my god, I'm gonna have to prepare myself for this scene here. Where's my gun? In her mind, Burnham comes back to a darkened library. Book tells her time is almost up, and she says she's tried everything. Book asks if she's afraid of death. She says she's afraid a lot, but not of death. She says she's afraid of not being a good enough captain, friend, or partner. It drives her, that fear, and she hates it. It makes her feel small and weak. She says she should have told the real Book all this, but she was afraid she'd failed him or herself, so it was easier to just not do that. She says, "Can you at least tell me what the test was?" And Book says, "No need. That was the test." No! What do you mean that was the test? The relationship drama was the test? What? What? Excuse me? What? Why?
Because she needs to know her deepest fears.
So fucking therapy was the test? Doing therapy on yourself was the test?
Because, yeah, I mean, that's all, like, that's the best way to do it, right? Like, psychoanalyze yourself.
Yeah, like, I mean, there's so much. She's not doing a good job of it, though. Like, she's not even getting to, like, root causes or, like, anything that really matters here, like material causes. She's like, I just want to fix things with Book, not mentioning that she is dedicated to an organization that he double-crossed, like, a year ago and, like, endangered everyone's fucking lives with it and got his fucking, you know, like, I don't know, man.
I don't know.
And then he died and came back to life. And now he's like stuck on a ship with her.
It's crazy he doesn't share, you know, that bit of information with Maul, you know. It's like, well, I know the secrets of life and death.
Yeah. That's true.
Actually, multiple people on this ship do.
Yeah.
We could put him in the mushroom vat.
Right, exactly. We could do the mushrooms. We could bring him to that fucking whatever the species was from the last season.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point. They've already overcome life and death at least twice on this program. That
Probably
sucks.
More.
That sucks, man. Man, that sucks. Man, that sucks, man. Man, you know what? That sucks. So, Book says anybody who needs to protect the progenitor's technology needs to be reflective and burn him past the test. She calls it one hell of a test and cries a little. Book says there's a crystal in a viewing room that she needs to break open for the next clue. But before that, she has a way to get through to her final destination, if you know what I mean. And he's like, drive behind a truck with a lot of logs on it.
Get on that roller coaster.
Yeah. So in reality, Burnham wakes up and Book hugs her. Burnham goes to get the final clue. They get to the crystal just in time, break the crystal, get the clue, just as the Breen beam up. Discovery flies through the plasma storm, and the archive is under siege, and Discovery warps back to save them. On the Breen ship, Burnham hails them and tells them to fuck off since the archive no longer has the clue. Run says if they don't give them all the clues, they'll destroy the archive, and they begin firing on it. Burnham folds like a piece of paper and agrees to hand over the clues if he promises not to harm the archive. Burnham agrees and puts all the clues together. The clues light up and project a map. They get a scan of the map and send it to Stamets, and they send the thing to the Primarch. It projects a map, and they lock onto Discovery and prepare to fire. It's very strange Discovery didn't warp away directly after sending the fucking... Or, it's weird Discovery... yeah, I don't know. It doesn't make...
Even sent it. They have They have no idea what it looks like. They haven't got a single piece.
I know. They could just replicate something that looks like it, right?
Yeah, they could have replicated it.
Maul knows maybe what it kind of looks like, but not the completed thing at all.
Yeah, that's why I didn't get why they just didn't send, and also like they have no idea that it's going to light up and give like a star map. Mm-hmm. They could have just like made like a dummy replica and sent that,
or just sent like
because it wouldn't have
sent a fleshlight or something like that. Like, what is this? What is this progenitor technology?
Because I think even I think Stamets had said like you could replicate like the look of it, but it didn't do anything. So like they have no concept that it's supposed to like give a star map.
Right.
Like it just like
and
they could have just like sent over a bunch of stones.
No, what they should have done is replicated it, but then like had it have a separate star map. They sends them somewhere completely incorrectly. Like it sends them into a sun, like right into a black fucking hole. So
it sends them to God in the center of the universe. And they get crushed by some stone monsters.
Hell yeah. So the Breen prepare to fire on Discovery. Maul says the other factions could turn against them if they start a war with the Federation, but Rune goes through with it. Burnham prepares to jump and jumps at the very last minute, and Discovery gets blasted, but they make it 22 light years off target. Their warp and spore drives are damaged by the Breen onslaught, and they're 1 hour behind them in terms of getting to the Breen, or progenitor technology. Burnham says she knows something from the last test that Rune doesn't, something that Book's avatar told her. So, with the Breen, Rune prepares to fire on the Archive anyway, because he's just a dickhead, and has Maul imprisoned. Maul says Locke wouldn't approve of this, and Rune says he doesn't give a fuck about Locke. Maul says that he doesn't give a fuck about the lives of his soldiers, and they start talking amongst themselves. Maul takes Rune's weapon and kills him. Rune's number one goes up to her, and all the Breen gather around her, and she makes a speech about Locke's reign and his claim to a reign in the Scion and all that bullshit. The Breen just agree with her and fall in line. End of episode.
Yeah, it's funny that they're very blindly into the monarchy.
Yeah.
when just like in the flashbacks, he was like someone no one respected. Like he only had his position solely because he was like, the Scion.
Yeah.
But he had clearly fallen out of favor with his uncle and most of the other Breen society, which is why he was so susceptible to defecting in the first place. And yeah, it's odd to then have everyone rally around him now.
It is, yeah.
But
he's a symbol, whatever. They're an empire in turmoil since the death of their emperor. So
But he's also like he was just one of many Primarchs.
That's one of 6. Yeah.
So he's just like.
So now it's 5 Primarchs against like a human. Like, yeah, they're not positioning themselves very well. Like going with a human on this one, I don't think.
Yeah. Seems like a losing combination, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So, what do you think of this episode?
I thought it was interesting. I thought the premise alone, it feels like very old school Star Trek, just with like the premise of going into a library of the mind. You could definitely see like any other characters do this. Be a plot of another of like a TNG episode or something. Yeah, but I don't know. We'll see where it happens. Like, it's interesting. Like, they only have 2 more episodes to wrap this entire plot up, and I guess I'm guessing it'll probably be wrapped up by the next one, and maybe like the last episode will be like the final goodbye for all the cast or something, or just something to wrap up any loose ends. But it's like hard to say what loose ends there are besides Burnham and Book's relationship.
Burnham and Book, we got Adira and Gray.
Oh yeah. Which,
we got.
I guess that's not going to go any.
We got Tilly and that guy from earlier this season. We've got some romance to wrap up here, buddy.
We got the Saru wedding.
Tarina, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, got their wedding.
That's a good point.
If they give us some Doug Jones in the final episode at least.
Probably they'll probably just have him there for like a final wedding thing, and that'll. I don't know. It's probably going to be a dual wedding between like them and then Book and Burnham or some bullshit like that.
Oh, yeah. She would tack her wedding to Saru's.
No. What would happen is like during like at the wedding reception, she would make it about her and like propose to Book, and everyone would be like, "Oh no."
Have their wedding right in the middle of like Trina's walking up the aisle, and then they just happen to have their wedding right before. Right in the middle of it, and this is like, what the hell?
Yeah. I hated this episode. Like, I mean, good. Yeah, as you were pointing out, like good production values and stuff, but like the premise behind
the library looked really cool.
Yeah. But the whole premise behind the test, and that the test was like that she had to, I don't know, wax poetical on her fucking relationship with Book and how she failed, or how she has like so much anxiety about this shit. It's like, what? Like,
because it's something like, well, who doesn't?
Yeah, and you're also like asking for someone who's like very human-minded and human-centric, because like a fucking, a Vulcan would never have to do this, which is weird because she was trained to be a Vulcan, but she's like incredibly emotional, insanely emotional, whereas like a Vulcan would be like, well, everything I do is dictated by logic, so I have nothing to
Oh, but I can see but it's kind of almost the same conclusion, just like it's different for the Vulcan than it would be for a human.
Yeah, but I mean the test is basically already passed for a Vulcan, like once they started, and I don't know. That's what like it's so weird how much they strayed from that whole, oh yeah, she's kind of Vulcan by the way plot, because she's not Vulcan in any way anymore.
Yeah, that was kind of like, by season 3, that was kind of
not a thing at all.
It's like put to the wayside. Yeah.
So, what do you think the last 2 episodes hold?
Like I was saying, like I think it'll be wrapped up by next episode. It'll be more or less wrapped up, and I think like the final episode will kind of deal with any sort of other ramifications that arise from the progenitor tech, whether they be good or bad, and then final curtain call for everybody.
Yeah, but I mean I'm pretty sure that at least like Tilly is probably still going to be on the Starfleet Academy and shit. And I imagine several of these people are going to be on Starfleet Academy. Not Doug Jones, obviously, because he wants outski. But, I guess we'll see. I hope at least they have... I like Jet Reno to keep doing stuff, but apparently they want Starfleet Academy to be like a YA show for young adults. So.
Yeah, that tracks.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah, this is... Yeah, and that's why, I can see Adira and maybe Gray going over to that. The very
all
YA.
Our favorite characters.
Can't wait. We gotta have more of them.
Cool. You got anything else to say on this episode?
No. It was... A library looked really cool. I like that.
Yeah, that is cool. Good for them. The rest of the episode, meh. Yeah, well, thanks for hanging with us, Soyagers. Be well, travel safe, and I wouldn't recommend Labyrinths. but whatever. If you're watching the show, go ahead and watch it.
There was zero David Bowie. There was no puppets.
That's very true. No David Bowie's dong, which is real bad.
No David Bowie's. David Bowie's hog wasn't even in it. There was no puppets. We had no musical numbers. You know, we didn't chili down or anything. That was
kind of a bummer.
Completely absent.
Yeah.
And there was no original soundtrack by David Bowie.
Nope.
I mean, he's dead. He's been dead for quite some time, but still,
Right.
it's like you call it Labyrinths, you know.
You have some shit to live up to, you know.
Yeah, because like I mean, that's an obvious sequel name for Labyrinth. It's Labyrinths.
Sure.
Like aliens.
Right.
So it's just like, and then there wasn't even a single Goblin King.
Bummer. Huge bummer.
Hope someone got fired for that blunder.
Hell yeah. I hope someone's family got taken out back and shot for that blunder.
Summary execution.
Hell yeah, baby.
Yeah, but I think that's all I gotta say about it.
Word. Well, thanks for hanging with us, Whiters.
Well, yeah, thanks for checking with us, soy boys, girls, and worldly beans.
Hang on and shocker.
Soy, 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 soy.